Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video it's going to be another thoughts on. Now this one is something which I've just kind of found out now because I just uploaded a fleet history at the time of recording, it's 22nd of December, the Garuda 747 history, and Life of Storm put on there Air Tycoon Online 3. So I went, what is there? So I've gone on there now and I am now on the Air Tycoon Online 3 page. It is by Tradegame Lab. They have actually updated that game. They've updated Air Tycoon Online 2. I'm probably not going to be getting this because it's the online version, but if they are doing like an Air Tycoon Online 5, well not Online 5, just an Air Tycoon 5, then I will be playing that. And it's basically the same as all the other games, they've just been updated a bit, and then it's just saying that there's a few major differences with a few versions. I'll just go through them now. It says there's an introduced hub concept. Headquarters is located in the city you selected when you started the game, which is kind of what they did before. When starting the route, the departure airport must be the airport of the city where the head office is or branch office is located. So, oh, okay then. So that means that you can't actually do it from like random airports, which might be a bit bad. So then you'd have to start up a branch office in places. So okay, then that's more of a hub concept then. And name value by city. Increase the name value through advertising investment by city. So you have to do a bit more advertising than you did. And then establishment advantages when your name value is 50 or more. And you can select the map options to be 2D or 3D. There's an increase in the number of slots and there's an introduction of in-flight service set. Which was on there, but I think they've kind of updated that, I should think. Now it's 25 slot requests at a time. Additional aircraft, Boeing 747 SP, Boeing 707-320B, A319neo, A320neo, A321neo, oh my blooming god, 787-10, 737-10, E175E2, E190E2, E195E2, the Caravelle 10, 1, 10B and 12, and the DC-8 61F, 62F and 72F. Wow! Okay, so that's actually added a lot more aircraft which I wanted. A321neo is the one which I was after, so that's good. 747SP, you could use that. 787-10 I might use. 737-10, that will definitely be I might use. And the Embraer E2 series as well. The Caravelle I might use to set up short-haul, like, small regional services before the, to complement the 737. I could do that. The rest of it is just saying, like the main useful game tips that they always do, like they don't have to for. Oh my god, they have actually done an update. They did actually work on this game. They are actually care about this series, because I was thinking they were just thinking, oh no, we're just going to forget this series. They do actually care about this. I am going to wait until I should think there'll be a single player version that comes out, because if they're going to be producing that with these sort of graphics, then I will be playing that. I may still be doing Series 2.5 on Air Tycoon 4, and then they come out with Air Tycoon 5 like halfway through, but then that means that I'll start Series 3 on this new game then. So, okay.
Boom. Big Shack.
That is actually a quite big announcement, which I just suddenly stumbled across upon when Life of Storm actually put that on there. So thanks very much for you making me notice that and tipping me off about that. So that is good. 747SP, that would be good to try and compete with the DC-10, because that's what it was used to actually compete with the DC-10. So you could use that if you don't want to do DC-10s, you want to do just, like it basically competes with the DC-10-30. It's like a long-haul 747, but less capacity. And then the 707-320B, I think that's a slightly updated version of the longer range 707, which I think came out. A319neo and A321neo, which is what I asked for when I did that Air Tycoon 4 Problem and Solutions video, especially the A321neo to replace the A321, because that's what I needed. A319neo I don't actually use, but the A321neo I definitely do. And then the 787-10, that can actually compete with the A350 a bit better now, so that's good. And then the 737 MAX 10 also can compete with the A321neo, so that's good. Then there's the E175, like the E2 series, Embraer E2 series, which I was also after, because that means that now you can actually replace your Embraer E-jets if you've got like a regional like market. So then you've got like your smaller aircraft, your smaller little regional jets that I was using, like with Jet US, my Jet US series and Series 2, when I was using just the Fokker 70, like, and then it would go to like the E190. I'd probably replace them with the E190 and then replace them with the E190 E2. That is good. That is really, really good. I do want to use that. Also, the Caravelle. I could use the Caravelle. I think what I do, that's actually a French small little regional aircraft that actually became popular. I'm surprised they haven't done stuff like the BAC-111. The Caravelle, I could use that then. on regional services, and I could, because that will be available from the start of the game, so that will be competing with like the TU104. So you could do like efficient regional services. I could do some services and replace some with the 737 when it comes out, but then also I could use it to carry on with a lot less capacity routes, like the ones which are under like 100 business and tour. Well, I mean, you can do that anyway, but then it's not until the F-28 comes out, and that's not for quite a few years. Also, they still don't have like the F-27, so there's still a few aircraft which they haven't got, but they have definitely got all the major ones which I asked for. The Embraer E2 series, good. A321neo, good. The 707 and the 747SP, I'm not really after. Like the 737 320B, I'm not really after. 787-10, I was kind of after, because that's if you're a Boeing fleet, then that'll be good. And the 737 MAX 10 as well. But the Embraer E2 series, then there's also the DC-8 61F and 62F. That gives you a bit more choice for freighter versions of the DC-8, because there is actually freighter versions of that, which they didn't have before. And there's also the DC-8 72F, because I know there's like the DC-8 71 or 73F or whatever. So they're adding like a slightly smaller or bigger version of that. And yeah, they've got 3 versions of the Caravelle. So I'd imagine the Caravelle 1 was the original one that came out, because I know it came out like the late 50s, the Caravelle, like 1959 sort of time, or 1958. It was about the time of 707 actually. So it's probably the Caravelle 1 you start with. Then later on in the game, it comes out with the Caravelle 10B and the Caravelle 12. So that's actually a quite good thing then. So as I said, I'm not doing the online version, because I don't do the online version, but I will probably do a bit more in-depth review of this at some point. I just wanted to say this now because I suddenly found this. If they do like an Air Tycoon 5, I will be playing that. That will be a replacement to Air Tycoon 4, because I was starting to think that Air Tycoon 4 was starting to be a bit, I don't know, I did like the game, but how do I put it? It was starting to break the limits with me, to be honest, because there was aircraft which I was using the aircraft in the market, but there were just some that weren't there. And also when you got towards the end of the game, the planes, they weren't actually being added. To be honest, they were just like they'd have the like the 777X, that's the last major aircraft to come out, and then you just have aircraft which are gradually like going out of production. Like you can have the A320neo and nothing else, which is actually done wrong as well. Then you had you didn't have the 787-10, you didn't have the 737 MAX 10. You had the 777X, but I mean that was it. Like after 777X, that was it, and then you were just doing nothing for the rest of it. You just had to set up routes, and there was no new aircraft. So this is actually good that they're gradually adding this. So the 787-10, and that will come out about now. In fact, I think it's going to be released in 2018, so that will be coming out then. 747SP came out like early to mid 70s. 707 320P I think came out like mid 60s, so that'll be like the sort of times like the DC-8 Super 60s. A319neo, that'll probably be out 2018, 2019 in game. A320neo is 2016 actually. A321neo is also that's 2017, and then 737 MAX 10 is going to be 2020 I think. E175E2 and E19, I think the E190E2 is going to be in service in January next year, sorry. I don't know why I'm putting this out. This is recording in 2017 now, it's starting out in 2018, I don't know, but whatever. And then the Caravelle, that's like the 1960s. I don't know when the rest of the E1, like the E2 series comes out, but I know the E190 Ibirdball are going to take delivery of that in January 2018 and put it into service a few months later, so that will get into service then. And the DC-8 61F and 62F, that will be coming out around the time of the DC-8 Super 60s, which is like mid to late 60s, sort of like in between there, so like 65, 66, 67 sort of time. And then the DC-8 72F will be coming out in the 70s. That is a very interesting lineup. That is what I'm most interested in. It's kind of weird that they're actually sort of going that you can't just set up routes randomly all over the place. That kind of defeats the concept if you were going for an airline like Ryanair, if you're going for a budget airline like Ryanair or EasyJet or Southwest or something like that. That kind of defeats the object of that, where you could just do routes like everywhere. But now it's kind of more of a hub concept. It's kind of more introducing what I would actually do. It's not introducing the sort of things that you would do for like a budget airline. So that is kind of interesting that they're sort of going for that, because I think that's what they found that people were doing. They were going for more hub concepts like me. So I don't know, maybe they watched my video and thought, people do hubs, so let's just do hubs. Increase name value through advertising assessment by city. So that means I think that you when you actually go on the airport, then you have to click on the advertisement there, because before in Air Tycoon 4, it was just simply you've got the advertisement tab, and then, how much advertising do you want in each continent? And that was it. So, well, apart from Antarctica, obviously, but still, it would show that, and then the price would go up the more routes you had, and the more cities you were serving from there. That is actually a very interesting thing. Also, establishment of branches when the name value is 50 or more. I can't remember what name value is. I think name value is isn't that where you're over 50 billion, I think? That might be it. I don't know. When starting a route, the departure airport must be the airport of a city where the head office or branch office is located. That kind of means that hubs are what you have to make money from. So that basically means that I can't do what I do in the US now when I set up a market in the US, and Europe as well, but mainly the US. I'll have my hub in like Los Angeles or New York, and then I'll make the other one in like Los Angeles or New York or whatever. Like they are synonymous pretty much at the start of the game for me. And I did Chicago once, but it's mainly New York and Los Angeles, and then I kind of do all the routes across the US, so like Denver, Dallas, Houston, Miami, Chicago, Detroit, whatever, and then I do all the routes in between. So I'd go from like Atlanta to Charlotte, or Denver to Dallas, or Chicago to Miami, or whatever, and I do all of those routes across there. So then I make loads of money from all of those routes because I could put like DC-10s or MD-11s or whatever I put on them. This is actually a very big change which they are going for here. And as I said, if they are coming out with the single-player version, on which I hope they do, they might be working on it. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they do actually add any more aircraft, because they did with Air Tycoon 4, like they added the 777X. So I believe that if they do release this as a single-player version, and then they put all these aircraft in, they will probably add some more aircraft in. The ones I'm pushing them for, F-27 is probably the next one after this, and then some more British aircraft. Not necessarily ones which weren't popular, so like VC-10 and Trident, I'd understand if they didn't really get it. But to be honest, they have like stuff like the IL-18, which wasn't really used that much. Well, not the IL-18, that kind of was used a bit much, but like aircraft which weren't used as much in Russia, they were put out. Like the IL-114, that only sold like 40 or something, and that's not been there. So I don't know if they'll probably do the VC-10. Like I understand if they don't. I think it'll be better if they did the VC-10. The Trident as well. One thing which they should do, they need to do the Average J, and they need to do the BAC-111 as well. I think the BAC-111 should be there, and then you replace it with the Average J and BA-146. I think that's how that should work. They should have the 111 400 and 500, which is like the two major versions. Like the 400 was slightly smaller, the 500 was slightly bigger. And other British aircraft, I mean, they could have stuff like the ATP if they wanted. They should have the Jetstream, like the tiny Jetstream, because that'll be interesting if you want to set up like really low capacity services. Air Tycoon Online 3, wow. So apparently it's only been released a while. It says on here, I'm on my tablet right now, but I'll probably put some pictures on the screen because I know you can go on the playlist. And the playlist and Play Store on computers. So yeah, I have got like a screenshot here. This is actually quite interesting. I might put this on screen now. And that's just showing what the graphics are like. So there is actually updated graphics to what it was before. So it looks like that they're kind of keeping the same sort. They're keeping the same icons. They've just kind of moved stuff around a bit. Now, I don't know what those gems are. What gems? I have no idea. So they're still keeping the K system. So they've got the value. Then they've got the funds that you have. They've got search for airports on the side there and buy aircraft and stuff like that. Then there's like the pictures of the airport. That is a lot more sophisticated airport, because before the airports, they were tiny. They were the same ones, just copy and pasted to whatever, and it was like level 1 up to level 8, and that was it. But this one seems to be a lot more interesting. Then there's showing the 747. There's a little design of what the aircraft are like, so that's pretty interesting. Still kind of keeping the icons I did with Air Tycoon 4. So yeah, they've got like the World Airline News. They're setting up the routes. So it seems like they are keeping the same style. They're just moving the stuff around, like all the icons and updating the icons and stuff. And then you've got the C configuration that's updated. Then buying new aircraft down there. That's what the aircraft buying page looks like. See the icons at the side there. The Boeing will stay the same. Douglas one's a bit different. Airbus is different. Bombardier is different. Oh, they should have added the C series. This was another aircraft they should have added. And then that's the report page in the bottom left there, and then they've got a picture of 747, which I think is their like new logo for Air Tycoon Online 3, and that's it. Apparently only 100 people have downloaded it according to this. Wow, I think it's only been out for like a day or something like that, so that's interesting. So I wouldn't expect Air Tycoon 5 for quite a while. As I said, I will not be getting this. I'm just saying Air Tycoon Online 3 is just like, that's the new version of Air Tycoon as a whole franchise, and not just like the online version and then the like the single player version. It's kind of weird because they did Air Tycoon 3, but like as a single player game, but then they did Air Tycoon Online, which was the first online version, and then they did when they did Air Tycoon 4, the single player version, they did Air Tycoon Online 2, which was for that, and now they're doing Air Tycoon Online 3, but then they're going to have to do Air Tycoon 5, so it's kind of weird in that respect, but I'm kind of rambling on here. I will be possibly playing it, seeing what it's like. I might do an Ibirdball Infuriation, or I don't know if it'll be an Ibirdball Infuriation, but it'll be more of a, let's just have a look at this, see what stuff we can do with it, test out all the game mechanics, and all sorts of stuff, but it would be better if it was just with the new Air Tycoon single player game. I think that's what I'll do with it. I don't know if I'll do it with Air Tycoon Online 3, it just depends whether they come out with it or not. This possibly means that now because the series is actually, the franchise is actually being revived again, we could start saying in the review section and just say, like, we want these aircraft, add these aircraft in, so it won't just be adding the new aircraft. Because, I mean, as I said, they have already added a few of the aircraft which I like the rest of the A320neo series, which I really wanted. They've added the E2 series, which I really wanted, and they've added also the 787-10 as well, which I kind of wanted. One thing they haven't actually added, I just realised, is 717. Why haven't they added that? I don't know, but that's kind of one thing to be pushed for. Still, like, lots of aircraft which I wanted to do, kind of a new type of game design which they've got, so establishment of branches, and it's kind of more based on a hub concept. I'm actually emailing them and say, are you doing the like an Air Tycoon 5 and just actually doing like the single player version of Air Tycoon Online 3? Because if they aren't, then I kind of want them to do that, because that's the game which I want to play. I don't like really doing the online version, because Air Tycoon 4 and like the single player Air Tycoon is actually turn based, when Air Tycoon Online 3 is in real time, which I don't really like, because then you'd have to click off the game and come back onto it, and that's where the microtransactions and all the free-to-play stuff just goes to absolute crap. So the Air Tycoon 4 version, when you can actually do it yourself, that's the gameplay you should go for. That's why also I don't do Air Tycoon Online 2. At the end of this thoughts on here, kind of rushed, but as I said, this was literally just found out by me, and it seems like it came out yesterday. I will be getting this game if it comes out on Air Tycoon 5, so thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, which is out that as well. Bye!